Bitcoin is trading just below $23,000 with Ethereum trading just above 1,600. Those prices are a far cry from the bottom that we saw over the past few months. But is this a renewed bull market, or is it just another bull trap? I've got Matty Greenspan here today to discuss with me. It's Tuesday, so you know we're going to be sharing charts, trades, ideas, and just generally talking about the market. You guys don't want to miss this one. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is up, everybody? I am Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel and take your liquidator and liquidate the like button right there. You can see it. Big old water gun. My son, last time he got hold of this, liquidated directly into my right eyeball, and it hurt real bad. But he's 3, so you can't really blame him. Now, as I said, we've got some bullish sentiment in the market, but also some signals that this could at least be a temporary top. I've discussed it with you guys a lot, but things are pretty overbought if you're one to watch indicators actually hitting historical levels and staying there for quite a while. That doesn't mean that the top is in forever. It just means that maybe we consolidate and cool off, but we all know that this is the crypto market. And when a bull run gets started, all bets are off. It can do whatever it wants. Doesn't matter what indicator you have or line you draw. As you guys know, every day, sponsored here by Prime XBT, you can get up to a $7,000 deposit bonus. Go check them out. But remember, not your keys, not your coins. Good place to trade. Not a good place, like any centralized exchange, to store your Bitcoin and crypto indefinitely. I'm going to go ahead and bring on one of my favorite people here in the crypto space. Of course, Matty Greenspan. What is up, man? How are you today?
Yeah, awesome, man. Couldn't be better, to be perfectly straight.
That is a strong statement. What you got going on?
Oh, dude, have you seen the markets? It's like everything is zooming. Looks like Bitcoin is on track for the strongest start of the year in history.
By the month of January, I haven't even checked previous Januaries. Is this in fact the best one? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we close now, we'll have been beaten only by 2013, which was like some 50% or so. So only a small margin left to beat 2013's January. But I from my initial checks, we're doing it, man.
Do you think that that's a function of everything sort of bouncing, right? I mean, the macro environment improving. I mean, we're obviously seeing a major bump from stocks as well. Or do you think that this is some signal of a decoupling, or it's specific to the crypto market?
Yeah, we could check the decoupling charts. I've got a good one from Coin Metrics over here. And this is the year-to-date performance. Everything from Coin 360. This is everything dark green. I could not be happier. Correlation metrics from Coin Metrics. Basically, this is the S&P 500 to Bitcoin, and we saw at the start of COVID, right, that these metrics did hit like an all-time high, right, 2020, and then when they, in 2022, it just like completely. When the bear market happened, everything was kind of falling down together. It just completely went parabolic, and 0.5 is a very high correlation. Not as high as like a stock to a stock or a crypto to crypto is usually something like 0.8 correlation or 0.7, 0.8. So it's not that high, but it's been coming down lately, and especially you can see on the 90 days, right, where it was all the way up there, 0.06, and now coming down off of that. And it should be noted that the FTX debacle, that was about 90 days ago. So I think that that's what set off this kind of decoupling from the traditional markets. Not a total decoupling. Obviously, there's still a lot of huge money managers and traditional money managers that are trading crypto. And so whatever movements they make in their accounts are going to have some effects on us as well. But I do believe that, when FTX went under, I mean, that was terrible for crypto. The stocks did all right, and then ever since then, I think that we've been coming down a little bit. But obviously, there is a lot to say about the Fed, right? And that they've been, well, the inflation has been coming down anyways. So the expectation is that the Fed's infamous rate hike cycle, which is one of the strongest rate hike cycles in history, that's basically choked the markets, that they're about to let up on that. They've already, instead of doing 0.75 rate hikes, they're doing 0.50 now. They're going to get to the top pretty soon, and then they come back down again, and then markets can breathe. And that's the hope, anyways, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, that's not the decoupling that you're showing there that we were looking for, right? You point out FTX, we decoupled, but down, right? But the good news is that, as everybody seemingly has pointed out, we've recovered all of those losses and more in under 2 months. Pretty cool. When that FTX drop happened, I don't think people expected to be right back at the pre-FTX prices by January.
Indeed, but just look at this chart, man. I mean, doesn't it look like a bottom to you? I mean, left cheek, right cheek, looks like a bottom to me.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely looks like a bottom, and frankly, I thought it looked like a bottom before FTX, right? And I think if we had not had that FTX situation, we would have had something similar. Now maybe we're at 25 or 26 instead of 23, but that's semantics, and I don't think it matters long term. I'm just impressed with the resilience of the market and the way that it just shook off what people described as an unrecoverable contagion and an implosion that was going to end the market. And now you hear people, obviously we had this sort of temporary, well, Binance has to be next. And if Binance goes under, the market goes to zero. I think that this dispels the myth that any centralized exchange going under would bury the market. I think that,
well, I mean,
nonsense.
Binance, they got the biggest stress test of their lives just now. So if they haven't declared bankruptcy or halted withdrawals yet, I don't think they're gonna. But yeah, Gemini, I think that was, I mean, but Gemini, the Genesis, that's been a long time coming. We already knew it was going to happen. But you know what this chart really reminds me of, and I'm not just a giant turnbuckle, but it actually reminds me of the 2018, right, crypto winter, right? We had that massive.
Where we went to 14.
Yes, we went to 3.5. It dropped to
on the downside. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the rip up. Yeah,
nothing, and then next January, boom, like out of nowhere, right? So that looks like, to me, that little kind of lull. But obviously it has been ripping, and you do kind of want to wait for some sort of a pullback, right? And some sort of like find a support, right, before going all in. And if we have the 200-day moving average here, why does it not look like?
Yeah, my time frame has the two. Is that the daily? I can't see, but
it should be the daily.
Yeah, those might be EMAs.
Something wrong with my chart.
I can pull it here. I mean, I've got it right here.
This is CME futures. I don't know how that happened.
There you go. Yeah, so it has a different 200 periods because it closes. Yeah, that's the one right there. You got.
I don't know how it happened, but we got it. We'll get it back. So this is the 200 period, and then watch the 50 as well, because once we have
the exact
50 and the 200 crossing, that's a golden cross. But yeah, like I was hoping that when we were over here, we'd find some support at the 200-day moving average, right, and move
19.6. I was talking about it forever. The retrace to 19.6. The tree retrace to 19.6 hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened.
It will eventually happen. The question is, where will the 200 MA be when it happens? It could curl way up and be flying. So,
but I've seen so many times in the market where FOMO kicks in, and we just leave it back in the dust, right? Yeah. And this is basically what happened. While
that happened to the downside. We hadn't touched it since March.
Yeah,
on the downside. Look, I've got mine right here. You can see I've got it pointed out. I mean, that's the last time we had touched it, which was a simple rejection, and it broke down in December. So one touch since the breakdown in over a year. Like you said, if you get a strong break,
cross of 2020, 2021, we were like golden cross, death cross, golden cross, death cross.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we've been in death for for a while.
Right. Well, a golden cross here would be in a trending up market and would be much more bullish than one of those sort of sideways and different ones. And it took, as you can see here, this blue says 291 bars. I measured it out from the last touch to the break. I mean, 291 bars to touch the 200 MA again is significant
Right, but
amount of time.
What is it from the time that we crossed the 200-day moving average? It's like
Down. Yeah,
no,
this is from the last time we touched it in March to when we broke it. 291 days.
Right.
From the last touch of the 200 MA to breaking it.
That's
my
crazy,
only concern there.
I don't think we've ever, like, what, maybe 2018 was the last time that's happened, if that.
Yeah.
So now we've been above the
I'm gonna bring yours in.
EMA for like,
yeah,
like 10, 12 days, right? So eventually, like, even if the price just stays here for another 4 weeks, you know, we're gonna have that golden cross. Right.
And we'll have that 200 MA start curling up. And even if we're going to get the retest, it'll be at a higher price.
That's it, man.
So, yeah, I think now you're looking for a retrace maybe to like 21. I got it right here. This red line, 21,473, something like that, which was sort of the top of the FTX move.
Yeah.
Maybe that gets retested as support with that. I mean, so then, you know, you move this. Hey, look what I did. Your targets. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of move that. I still think we do get that 200 MA, but we left it farther behind. I was thinking that when we were sort of at 20. My only concern here, though, is, I mean, RSI, we do have bearish divergence. It's way overbought. And I've pointed this out a few times, but when you go back.
I saw your tweet about that, too. And
I know you're not necessarily a believer. Like and I agree that Bitcoin has not always cared about that. I'm just the idea, though, that even in the most overheated sort of markets, like 90, that's 91. That's about where we get. And the only time that we got above it was the deadest top of December 17 that it stayed above. And of course, formed bearish divergence there. That doesn't mean, I don't think I'm saying that necessarily means it's a top. It just concerns me that, I mean, you can only stay up at 87, 90, 84 RSI for so long before you at least get a healthy retrace, something.
I feel like a healthy retrace would be good for the markets right now.
Yeah.
You do want to build in support levels on the way up. I just simply recall 2017 where the RSI just didn't let up the entire year. It stayed 70, 80, 85, 90 the entire year. And it just kept ripping from 1,000 to 20,000 that year. So that was like, you know, I've never really known, because the RSI is it's only, you know, it's only a technical indicator, and we can only put so much weight on a technical indicator.
Of course.
You know, as we know, past performance does not indicate future results. In my mind, it's just, and people are asking me, like, why this sudden surge? The people have been waiting for so long for some kind of uptick, you know, to start buying stuff. People ask me about Aptos. Why is Aptos up 200%? Solana's dead. What else are they gonna YOLO on? Like, literally, like, you gotta think people are out there waiting to leverage buy, leverage long, 100x, whatever, you know, whatever fits the narrative at the moment. And they haven't been able to do that in a while. Bear markets are always temporary. And this one's been going on for 1.25 years, and that's a long time. Even 2008, I don't think was much longer than that.
Dude, you talk about Aptos. I've got that chart here. I think it was 2 weeks,
man.
maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago yesterday, maybe 2 weeks ago tomorrow, something like that. But right around right around in here, before this happened, I had Moshe on the show.
Okay.
And we were lamenting 2 weeks ago. We were like, oh man, you launched right into a bear market in October. And then, you know, your second round was famously led by FTX, and SBF was a huge cheerleader, and oh my God, and it's horrible. New all-time high 2 weeks later.
Yeah, seriously.
If this doesn't show you, then what can it was $4. It was under $4. We're at $12.89. That was 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yikes.
I literally don't know what they do, and I don't know why this is. I feel like anybody who's trading on this is definitely gambling, right?
Yeah, I could tell you what I mean. I could give it's actually interesting. It's the remnants of the Facebook Libra project.
Got it.
Mo and his partners were at Facebook, and when Libra died, they basically took the technology and programming language and created a new layer one, which is Aptos. So, I mean, it has quite a bit of, you know, institutional interest. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how to trade that. I mean, do you buy a dip to 1035, which was the previous, you know, sort of all-time high there, and hope? I mean, to be honest, there was a moment last night where I was looking at it and thinking, man, I should short this.
Yeah. I have not done any like really short-term trading, except for like, every once in a while I'll send, a few K to some exchange, like just out of like gambling or something like that. But all of my investments and everything that I've done throughout my career that has been successful has always been, long-term kind of movements. And, short-term trading, I mean, like I lose money on it every time. I have to say, every time I do short-term trading, every time I use leverage, I know that I'm going to lose money, and I'm okay with that, right? But case in point, like Near, for example, right? Near is one of my long-term holdings, right? And it's up 110% so far this year, which is awesome. I still need another like 350% left before I even hit my entry price. Well, it's a good thing at least that I'm doing staking on the side and accumulating some more coins in the meantime.
Yeah. The good news, some people have told me that they watched Mo and thought he was smart and bought Aptos that day and made a 3x just because of stream. So I got to say, there were the people who fundamentally were like, wow, this sounds interesting, and bought it without looking at the chart, and now are up a quick 4x. Yeah, I've got the Near chart here. That's actually one that I've been watching as well. Beautiful breakout.
You know also, that's how Three Arrows Capital got all their money, right? People are like, oh, these guys are good. They're smart. Let's put our money behind them. Right?
Yes, of course. Of course. But I would be surprised if we see Near get above 287 on this run before the pullback. But hey,
it may not. I'm happy
this
that
is
it
a
like
line right there. Look at that.
Yeah. I'm happy that that I've recovered somewhat. I'm not even close to thinking about selling it. I mean, the name of this show, Is It Time to Buy Bitcoin? I mean, in my mind, the time was the time to buy Bitcoin.
Anytime before this run, anytime.
Any day that ends in a Y, really, right? It's like because there's only 21 million. But if you're talking about altcoins, oh man, the time to buy them is after a friggin' shit ton of research and like understanding where is this going, because it's not like buying stocks, right? And when you're in the stock market, you know what the animal is. You know that it has that it has like assets and liabilities, right? And you can break down its earnings report. When you're talking about a cryptocurrency, I mean, there are hundreds of different factors that differentiate between different cryptos. It's basically programmable money, and it's not like a standardized asset that can be fit into a specific box and analyzed in a standardized format. So literally, you've got to look at it from all the different angles before really understanding.
One of the craziest aspects to me is, even after you do all that, the company and the protocol can be great, and the coin doesn't necessarily have to perform accordingly because it's not a stock.
Yeah,
it's not reflective of the performance in the company. The poor tokenomics can destroy a coin, even if the protocol itself is exemplary.
That said, I don't know if you saw, there was news recently about Ernst & Young's protocol Nightfall, and they're about to launch on Polygon, which is basically going to allow privacy on Polygon and Ethereum. And this is what institutional investors or institutionals that have been waiting for. You have the tab open.
I got it up there.
This is holy crap, man. This stuff is about to literally explode. The backbone of the internet will be, Ethereum and Polygon going forward. And now that Ethereum's moved to like, a disinflationary model or deflationary model, I don't, it's game over, man. It's game over. We're people don't even realize, but we are still early. I know it's a meme, but I totally, I'm feeling it today.
And I can tell, which I love. What do you think then about Polygon? I mean, it seems to me, and obviously, guys, everything we do here is off the cuff. So I don't know, he may hate it, he may love it. I have no fucking idea. But it seems like when you hear Ernst & Young, who, by the way, of all the big four accounting firms, is the only one that's been very pot committed to crypto for a very long time and blockchain technology. Even outside of the coins, they're actually building on blockchain technology for their clients and for accounting and such. But hey, Instagram, right? I mean, Polygon, NFTs on Instagram, the biggest names you can kind of come up with are partnering with Polygon in some sort of way. I mean, have you been watching the Matic chart at all?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So full disclosure, you know, I work with Ernst and Young. I was just speaking with them today about a merger that we're doing on one of the DeFi networks that we were advising, and we're actually acquiring them. So I thought they were extremely professional, a bit on the pricey side, but
Yeah.
the information that they gave was pretty awesome. And then I'm also advising on Woobits network, which is a decentralized social network for monetization of content. You should definitely try them out. Network, which is a decentralized social network for monetization of content.
I lost you. You sharing your screen, and it seems to have gone to your YouTube. I think your YouTube is playing through your screen.
I don't know how that happened. My YouTube was on mute. Oh, it was the Twitter. It was the damn Twitter because the tweet was up. All right. In any case, I advised Woobits to go because they were about to launch on Ethereum, and because they're doing monetization of content, right? You put up a chart analysis, for example, and you want to charge $1 for it. You don't want to pay $3 in transaction costs, right? In a gas fee. So integrating Polygon was basically it took them 3 days to actually switch it over to Polygon network, and the transaction cost is negligible. It's like almost zero when you're buying a post.
Yeah, I don't know if you've met him, but Chen Zur, one of the blockchain leads at Ernst and Young, is an Israeli guy.
No, not met him, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me. They've got a tall building in Tel Aviv with EY label right in the center. So I mean,
yeah,
there's it's a big
your neck of the woods.
There's a big presence here, and the landscape is totally changing in Israel as well. The banks still hate crypto, but the government is literally paving the way. And I mean, the banks understand. It was Bibi Netanyahu actually who screwed us over back in like 2017 when he was in a closed meeting that was on camera, closed door meeting that somehow ended up on camera, and somebody asked him about Bitcoin, and he says, well, you know, the blockchain technology. He said, I don't know about Bitcoin. I don't know if Bitcoin is going to go up or go down. We don't know. He said the blockchain technology is interesting and it's eventually going to displace all the banks. Believe me, the next day I was not able to make any deposits or withdrawals from any kind of exchange. He totally messed us over. But you know, and my bank is still gives me problems to this day. I actually have to go through like hell and high water to interact. So I have to just use an American account. But it's literally the regulation side, and EY is a big leader in that, right? They're paving, they're showing the way. They're like leading, teaching the regulators that this is actually good for us. I don't know what they're getting out of it because, far as I understand, similar to PayPal, they're like, you know, they're displacing themselves at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
Stuff is designed to make them not
disrupt banks, disrupt payments. A lot of large companies aren't going to love that, outside of just banks, of course.
But
actually.
What do they get from building these? What do they get from building these platforms, right? That like in
I guess they can still service their customers, who they can charge a whole lot of money. That's the answer. If you could get disruptive anyway, find a new model. I actually brought up the Matic chart. I hadn't been looking at it. This is the weekly. I mean, it broke the weekly 50 MA for the first time since April, and just has one resistance to go. Huh?
That's not a very sexy chart.
No, it's still below resistance. But, we could draw some more lines. We need more lines.
We need more,
Need more lines.
need more lines.
Need a line there.
More
a line
indicators.
there. We need more indicators. Yeah, I don't generally have any, but yeah, I mean, there isn't even a 200 MA yet on Binance because there haven't been 200 weeks of trading Matic there. But
what is it at year to date? Like, let's get.
I mean, it's up from 74 cents to $1 basically. So 33% move, something like that.
It's underperforming the market.
But after outperforming the entire bear market, though, I think, it had a much smaller percentage drop. And
that is it. And that is the key, right? Because people are so focused on the short term. And even us in this conversation are talking about year to date. It's 24 days, right? Since the beginning of the year, that like literally I had, people asking me from CNBC and from Bloomberg, like, why is it up? So, why is it up so much? This was just look at the drop, right? look at how far it went down, right? And then start thinking about the averages and where it should be.
I like them asking why it's gone up so much, as if we're not down like 75% or 67%, whatever it is at this point.
And then on the flip side, we do it on the down way. It's like, why is it down so much? Well, look how much it came up.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So you talk about you're advising all these projects. Is there anything else really interesting out there that we might not know about? Because I have no idea.
Oh man, yeah. You can check out the projects page on our website. One thing that was interesting recently, I mean, a lot of my clients, I have to say, both for our research content division and for advisory, have had massive budget cuts. I have, like literally 2022 was a gut punch. I saw several companies completely go bankrupt. It's not pretty. One of them, which is Supremacy, which is a game that's like an NFT robot fighting game. They plowed $4 million into developing. It's a lot of fun to play. You can play it right now because what they did was, instead of actually instead of like downsizing, right, they would have had to like they wanted to keep the game going because they put so much, they put their life into it, right, for like a year. And what they did was they transcended their corporate coil, and they declared bankruptcy, and then turned the whole project, turned all the assets, all the IP into a DAO, right? So basically, they allowed the game to live while the company dies, and then just wait out the rest of the bear market, wait till because there are games out there that have literally raised billions and don't have a single playable thing, right? And
of course.
And these guys,
and they're 4 or 5 years out. They look awesome, by the way. But
well, the schematics, the marketing materials are great. But we got to say, no, but these guys actually built a real game, and they couldn't find funding. This is just how messed up these cycles are, right? When Bitcoin was at 69K, literally a pitch deck, with a guy like me or you on the team. It doesn't matter what the idea is. It doesn't matter how far along you are. You could have just farted it out last Tuesday, right? 100K, easy from a VC, right? Like nothing. Yeah.
Well, they don't do it. There's zero due diligence, although maybe that's changing a little bit. Let's hope.
No, the due diligence was that Monty Greenspan, Scott Melker, or, this guy took a look at it. He was introduced to me by, look how much due diligence friggin' A16Z did on FTX. Like literally all you had to do.
Sequoia.
Ask for their damn balance sheet. That's all you had to do. No, that was too much for these guys to like lift a finger or ask, to get an accountant's opinion about it. It was just, no, SPF, he's good. Let's give him the money. He'll take care of it, right? The due diligence literally in the VC world at that time was outsourced, and basically they just like do decentralized due diligence, which basically means nobody does it. So at the end of the day, but today, over the last 6 months or so, or as things started going down, as of like December, January, February, when Bitcoin hit 40K, that entire environment was gone completely, right? And then you get like, and back to my point, you get these guys who actually spent $4 million on development, actually have something that's playable, and they can't raise, a measly $500,000 to keep the lights on and keep the development moving forward. That's how brutal these cycles are.
That's because people only want pre-seed. Once there's actually a product, the investors aren't interested anymore. It's
right.
crazy.
Once the product reaches the end of the roadmap. No, they had a roadmap going on to like metaverse game and all of this stuff, and they had like work done on the meta. It's not even, they didn't reach the end of their roadmap. There was still a lot to look forward to. This was like the pre-game for them, which to me feels like a real game because it's fun. But my point is, I blame Jay Powell. I blame the Fed for this entire market cycle. Yes, Mashinsky's a douche. Yes, SBF is a crook, but they were enabled by the Federal Reserve, who gave free money to the market, and they were out there picking it up, putting it under their, stuffing it in their coat pockets, putting it under their arms. And then only once the Fed turned on a dime without any warning, these businesses, and I think that there were a lot of legitimate businesses that got caught up in this too. And this is the point. Most businesses on the planet have been caught up in this, is that they turned on a dime and turned from a free cash environment to an extremely expensive cash environment. So any company that was relying on free money for its sustenance completely collapsed. But even across the board, So now that inflation's coming down, and I'm hoping that one day we can, see the true decoupling, which is the decoupling from the Federal Reserve, where, we see, Bitcoin as the main asset, right? And then the entire economy can revolve on a schedule without having to go by what's in Jay Powell's mind, right? What is he thinking about? He wants to think about Joe Biden's next election, right? Literally, they're making decisions that affect the entire
for 2024. Yeah,
exactly. They say we cannot win an election with inflation being this high. So they caused the inflation so that Biden could fund all of his projects, and then they took all the money back in order to make sure that inflation was down for the next election. And basically, this is what happens when corruption runs rampant at the highest echelons of government. And I believe that we can break free of that. We have the technology, we have the mindset and the willpower, which was really 2008 was a wake up call for the entire world. And we've seen like the COVID, everybody wanted to start trading from home, and then GME, right, the GameStop movement came and said, "Hey, wait a second, we're the 1% now, motherfuckers, right? We're controlling the market." And we can one up these hedge funds by banding together, and we can do it as citizens of Earth. We can come back and take the power of money away from the government, where it just didn't ever belong to begin with.
Man, I love that. I can't think of a better way for you to conclude there. Where can everybody follow you? And by the way, guys, I'm going to stick around for maybe 10 more minutes, do a few chart requests since it is Tuesday. But I'm going to let Matt go. We've got taken enough of his time. Where can everybody follow you and follow, obviously, what Quantum is doing?
Yeah, quantumeconomics.io. Get on the newsletter. It's completely free and some excellent information there. I've gone private on Twitter, too many freaking bots, but I think that you could still request to be followed. I don't know how that works. Or on wubits.io, WUBITS, is a social network that I'm helping build, which is better than anything exists today.
Awesome, man. Looking forward. Thank you once again, man. Always a pleasure to have you here. The answer was buy Bitcoin on any day that ends with Y. If you guys were wondering, that's what we came to. But if you're trading it, maybe wait for a retrace.
Yes, if you're short-term trading, that does not apply. This is only for long-term.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. I'm gonna let you go. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Guys, let me go ahead and bring up my screen. As usual, I've got my screener here. We'll just take requests. KDA chart, please. I actually brought that one up when I saw it before. Let's look. So Cadena, I actually talked to Stuart Popejoy yesterday, the CEO, and for the podcast. So that's going to be coming out probably by the end of the week. So I learned a lot about this project. I had no idea that Cadena was actually founded as JP Morgan Coin. So this was a internal blockchain, private blockchain project at JP Morgan. Jamie Dimon notoriously hates it. Stewart was the lead on it, and they eventually left JP Morgan with the technology and made it a public blockchain. It's crazy story. And I had no idea about any of that. So I learned a lot about that. That said, at this price, I think that looking here on the daily chart, we have a very clear resistance at about 138 and the 200 MA right here. So I would want to clear those before I would consider it. Nice move here. This does look like a double bottom. If you were trading a double bottom, that would be it's not going to be that high, but that would clear you above that up to about 163, the target of this double bottom right here. People talk about double bottoms all the time. Double bottom. This is an Adam and Eve, first of all, sharp and then rounded. Adam, because it's a dick. And Eve, because it's a not dick. You know what Eve has, right, guys? I know. We're a bunch of crypto guys. I never know who knows about female anatomy. But, and so you can't talk about double bottom until you break the swing high between them. So when people are like, it's a double bottom and price is right here. No, it's not. You have to get the break of that neckline, which is 113. And that's been broken. Look at how many times it was rejected there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 daily candles in a row, rejection, and then up. And then you have to, and then you have the beautiful retest there. So I like it. I think it's going to 163, but it's hard to buy it right into resistance here. Somebody thinks it's boobs. Sorry. Mark Ferris, I know that you know it's not boobs. It's not because of boobs. That is not the corollary to the male genitalia. XRP. Let's see. There's a weekly chart. Just keeps bouncing nicely. There's a good example. People will say, look, it's a double bottom there and there. And it kind of is, but not until it breaks technically this. You wouldn't have a double bottom until 55 cents. Can't talk about it yet. This is pushing through a local resistance. Now that was a little double bottom. Boop, went up. See? Broke that double bottom, went up to its target, and then that was over. Now we can look at the bigger double bottom if we break above that 55 cents. I don't know why it still says this up here. We're looking at XRP. Thank you, buddy. At Scott Melker, Lord TV. Oh, this hand. No, this hand. This way. Hey, the mirror gets me. I mean, it looks fine, but no convincing major bottom signals yet. I just like that it continues to bounce. As long as you're above this 30 cents, it looks pretty good, right? That's been the base of all of this price action. The resistance of all of that price action, and then the base here again. Michael says sushi is breaking out. It's fun to be able to do charts again, I got to tell you guys. Good, pretty good. Sushi breaking out of downward parabola. Not quite sure what the downward parabola is, unless you were drawing something like that, or maybe all the way from the top. Whoa, really crazy when you put it into perspective. Are we talking about like if we had a parabola? Let me see. I haven't done the parabola tool in so long. It's here somewhere. Assuming you're talking about, it curving wrong way. We got to go from the bottom. 1 second. Something like this. Hold up. I'm assuming we're talking about something like this. The parabolas are hilarious because, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, from the absolute top. Yeah, something like that. I mean, yeah, if you're a paraboler. Problem with the parabola tool is like you can manipulate it to make the parabola however you want. Look, you can do whatever. You can jump rope it, double Dutch. Fun, pretty fun. Not gonna lie, I had a good time. Yeah, listen, this is breaking its downtrend. If you're in a parabola, if you're a parabola maxi, I would be more looking just at this local range and not getting particularly too out of control, but it's flipping the EQ of that range, which is what you want to see here. This should be going to $1.92. It broke the mid range, broke here. It's also broke out of this, which target should be going up to the top of this range. Downward parabola, isn't that a Tool song? Probably. I think it's also a move in the Kama Sutra. Downward parabola. I just see monthly, but I don't know what we're talking about. Sly. Monthly. I'm scrolling back to see what we're talking about. Chart rock, says Dez. What's up, Dez? Thorchain, please. That's Rune. Let's launch the Rune. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's there because of that. Oops. I like that. Wow. Yeah, I mean, $112 was your spot, right? That was this swing low. There's a weekly chart. And you had 3 chances to buy it holding a support with wicks below this swing low right here. That's compelling. Yeah, there's another level. One, if you're looking for a pullback, something around here, that's where this just launched from. I mean, this should be eventually going to $3. Crazy to say. I don't see why it would not be heading up to here. I just kind of want to do one of these, though. Right? Let's see something. Let's go to the daily. Oops. Whoopsie. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice looking. Draw a line here. Double lines there. That's dumb. Yeah, $3. $3. Might take a while. Might drop, but as long as you're holding the $1.73, you got a pretty clear. Wouldn't want to be below this swing low. Then your card coming down here. I don't know. Looks pretty good. Everything looks kind of good, but they all also look kind of. Let's go back to the daily and pull up RSI. Yeah, so this worries me. This is pretty significant bearish divergence. I think we're going to see some retraces. It's tough, though, because this is above the 200 MA now. We'll see if it holds there, though. I mean, it's right around this resistance. Honestly, I'm going to give this one a big fat. I don't know, because I don't want to say anything stupid. What else we got? Someone asked for H-bar. Saw that. I don't want to ignore that. I think we just did this the other day. Pretty nice move. Not sure that's really the key resistance at this point. Certainly was here. I think this is your launch pad, McQuack. Right here. See that? You have the breakout through this. Break above this right here, and then sort of launch. And now your key resistance is going to be here. So you're kind of in no man's land between 5 and 8.4. So, you know, maybe you want to get higher up before you start looking at this. I would prefer to rebuy this as just buy a dip on it. Mid 5 cents, you know, maybe this whole area here, you come test it back here, 6 cents, something like that. But ideally, another test of 5 would be really good there. What do we got? Yeah, a lot of alts flipping 200 MAs. And a lot of them, I was kind of saying last week, you could look at the ones that were above it and they were looking already better. There's a lot of coins that had already broken it and were ahead of trend. Probably where you want to focus. XTZ, the Tezzies, the Tizzles. Dude, there's no price action on this chart. That you could tell last time I opened it. Wow. Whoa. Speaking of body part charts, I mean, this is pretty head and shouldery. That would be your inverse head and shouldery. It might even be there on the weekly. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good. That is a V-shaped reversal. Should be going up to here on the weekly. This is the area that you saw the mega drop in November and October. So should at least get back up to there. That's between, we're at 111 now. That's between 137 and 149. If you're looking for a pullback, maybe something in the dollar psychological level, bid $1 and then ride it up 35, 40, 45%, something like that. Pretty good looking. ETH, please, says Dez. Of course, ETH. Of course. So listen, I'm going to be totally transparent. I shorted this. It was here-ish, here. I shorted it when it was up here because very clear bearish divergence on the daily. And so that's, I still think might play out. But if RSI comes any lower, you're going to get hidden bullish divergence. I just thought it was massively overbought and looks toppy. But then honestly, I like to see a trade move. And it didn't really move. We were on the stream yesterday, and I would have closed it if I was not on the stream when it dropped down below 16. My standing close order was a little lower, like 1550, somewhere down in this. And so I closed it like 1619 or something, but from 1652 with 20x leverage was a pretty decent move. My invalidation was like 1710, so above the highs here with some breathing room. But I noticed that gave a perfect test of the 50 MA on the 4-hour, which I wasn't watching, and it formed basically a really nice bull flag here. So like if you're playing this bull flag, which you can't unless it actually breaks out, but you know, you're talking about, let's even be conservative and say that this is the flagpole rather than down here. You know, if this breaks up, talking about a move up into, 1780, something like that. When you zoom out on the daily, you can see that this has been the key level we've been talking about and watching this whole time, right? And you guys also know I'm still in from 1284. Remember when I circled this? I said I was going to just ride that position. That was my big spot position. Yeah, it went up, it went down, but I'm still in a large spot position from 1284. So this short was simply a hedge, simply a small hedge. But yeah, that's it looks like if that breaks out, we still go up. But my feeling is that if that happens, Des, is that we probably then push, get a bigger bearish divergence, and eventually get that retrace. I just can't see how we're not going to get some more significant retracement from a lot of these coins. But hey, man, anything can happen. Audius exploding. Dude, I used to hold this coin. Luckily, I got out of it. Might be time to look at it again. I love them. I can just see the volume right there. Holy shnikes. Okay, well, you can't buy it on this move this big, but you could buy a retrace to 27 cents, right? And then, so you had this breakout clearly here, right? Something like this, whatever, right? And if this does keep going, I would be surprised to see it get past this area. 44 cents. So again, you're sort of in no man's land, but look at that move through the 200 MA, like Mike Lotus was saying earlier. A lot of coins starting to break above 200 MAs. That is a major trend reversal across the market, but this might be this is as big of a volume candle as we've ever had on this coin. Did they have news or something? I can't buy it right here, but let me see. I bet this is one of the trending coins on CoinGecko. Let me see. Audius up 71% in 24 hours. Never even heard of most of these other ones. Well, FET, APT, I guess I have. Yeah, I mean, that is looking pretty nutso. Let's take a look at the screener right now. 1 second. So you guys have seen this before as a screener. It's probably hard to read on the screen, but it's basically price, sentiment, market cap, and then I use relative trade volume versus last 30 days. Gives you an example of what's really like Lido STETH right here is up 600%. I wrote a newsletter today about liquid staking. You guys should read that. And then relative tweet volume, which gives you an idea how much people are talking about it versus the last 30 days, right? Which would give you an idea that something might have a chance to go up, basically. Stellar has a lot of relative tweet volume, interestingly, and trade volume up. But I mean, right now, 24 hours really mixed. Let's see what has the highest return in the last 24 hours. World Cup Inu. Yeah, is that even a real thing? Keep threshold, and then Audius is 4. Nervos up 43. CKB. Most of the shit I've never heard of. Whatever. Back to the dashboard. You guys got any more chart requests? People saying Audius getting listed on Coinbase today. There you go. Not everyone is a nice spot position, Michael, and they're hoping for a pullback so bad. I had 4 texts this morning asking about Bitcoin when pullback is. Yeah, I agree with that. It might just not happening. Yeah, I agree, Michael. Listen, it might just get away from us. Like I said, though, listen, you have your rules. We all have to have our rules. And mine is when I'm sitting at 90 RSI with bearish divergence, I just have to be careful. Have to. Got to be careful. That's my view. KAS. I don't even know what that is. Let's see if we got that. Have I ever looked at that? What is KAS? What is it? What is it? I've never even opened it. KAS tether on MEXC. Let's see. Caspa. I gotta name it or it'll get lost in the ether. Let's make my colors right. Pull up something here. Man, it looks like whatever this thing is, it's broken above the 50 MA. And it looks to be bullishly consolidating after this move. Looks good. So you now have, I mean, you can't really use today's candle because who knows what will happen, but something like that. You know, if that breaks, probably looking at the highs here. It's currently at 0.006. Looks like a 50% move up to 0.009 is in the cards if it breaks above. But that's a really nice flip of the 50 MA and a lot of tests as support. Pretty good. God, man, I can't keep up with you guys here. Is Chainlink dead? I don't think so. I haven't. But that said, I haven't heard anyone talk about it or asked me to look at it. Ooh, my contact just rolled back into the back of my face. That's a problem. It's at resistance here in this range. Struggling. I don't think it's dead. I think it's dormant. But I don't see any reason to buy it right now. It's right into resistance here. Take a look at VET. I haven't heard that in a while. That was the old range that broke down. We can ignore that now and just draw it as, yeah, I mean, anything above that, looking good. I would say that this should at least, yeah, but this also has massive bearish divergence. Do you guys see what I'm talking about here? Massive bearish divergence. I don't know. I think things are looking pretty ripe for retracement, to be honest. I don't know. That's all I got, guys. I do have to go. I got a thing, and I got to interview Austin from Solana in 4 minutes. So I got to go and, I don't know, like drink some water or something. Guys, every once in a while I need a drink. That was awesome. That was fun. I'm going to try to just at the end of like trading related streams, just take requests. It's fun. Good time. That's all I got for you guys. Please, Prime XBT. You can trade all this crap. I mean, all these amazing life-changing assets. Trade it all there. Cloud Casino says, have a great morning, everyone. I agree. Sly Fernandez says, peace. That's all I got for you guys. Tomorrow, who do we got tomorrow? Let me look at my calendar. I'm going to open my calendar. See what we got. I'm on Miss Teen Crypto Show later today. You guys should check that out. And tomorrow, tomorrow I've got Dirk from Prime XBT. This guy's awesome. Been trading for 25 years. He runs their educational academy. We're going to dig into some trade ideas. So we're going to basically get another trade stream tomorrow, which should be, that's dope. That is what I have for you guys today. I will see you tomorrow in the morning. Do not miss it. Peace.
That's dope.